Hey dudes and chicks and neither of those who don't party, welcome to Big Boss Time. My name is Katie. Today, I'm going to be doing another episode of Hump It or Dump It, where I tell you which new makeup releases I think you should swipe right on and which makeup releases I think you should swipe left on. And frequently, I just love every release, and then every once in a while I hate every fucking release. I don't know if it's because I have a Gemini moon or if it's because everything actually sucks. So anyways, I feel like today it's Valentine's Day month, and so this is going to be Valentine's Day edition. So essentially February is usually like, you know, January, February, end of January, February is the month where I like a lot of releases. If you've been here for even just a minute, you know I love pink, I love red, I love purple. I'm all about that shit. So I also love. I just don't have any in my life. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I think about all the new makeup releases for Valentine's Day, and there's some like things that are just starting to get teased out now for like after Valentine's Day. And so that's exciting. But anyways, if you guys are interested in seeing what I think about all the new makeup releases for Valentine's Day, then hang out. Okay, are we out far enough? Let me see. Am I gonna have enough room? Sorry about my window, you guys. We'll just try to make it work. Let me open my untrusty phone. Phones are a bad neighborhood for me, I'll tell you. I go to check the time and then I'm like, why the fuck am I on fucking Instagram for 25 minutes and I still don't know what time it is? What the fuck? So I can't be trusted with my phone, and plus, everything that's going on right now makes it a phone. Social media is a scary place to be right now. You got to make sure that you're well fed, well rested, taking care of yourself, probably being in meditation, or else you're going to be really susceptible to fear and manipulation and fear mongering. So everybody be taking care of yourselves, because that's like number one. That's like key, right? Making sure that nothing can get inside your head and fuck with you. So now let's talk about makeup. Let me see if I can just scoot over and fucking try to cover that light a little bit. I don't want to scoot over that fucking much. Get out of the picture. Katie, could you get out of the picture so we can actually see the makeup? I have quite a few things from like that are on here that are kind of old. And so I just kind of make a list, like as I'm, you know, if I really hate it or if I really love it, I put it in a list. And then like sometimes I include everything and sometimes I dump a bunch of it because I know I don't want to be spending fucking an hour sitting here talking about new makeup releases. My throat will get sore. But I do want to talk about one thing, because I just had a friend gift me a Cosmetics palette and I haven't gotten to use it yet, and so that's probably next on my agenda, except I gotta do that fucking ColourPop palette, and I'm literally like, I don't want to. I just have so much fun shit to use, and it's a brown fucking palette and nobody asked for that, not here anyway. So actually you guys did ask for it, so I'm gonna fucking do it. But anyways, Cosmetics quite a while ago launched this palette, and it's called the Tulip Dream, and it's got like a purple and a minty green and like an awesome, it's not a forest green and it's not an OD green. It's more like a bright, what is this color? It's like a bright drab green. No, it's not drab. It's like, I don't know what it is, but it's like a bright dark green. It's like a bright dark green. So it's bright in color, but it's dark in tone? Dark in tone? Is that what I'm looking for? It's bright in color, but it's dark in tone. Yeah, I think that might be what I'm trying to say. So the two greens, I really like them both. And also there's a purple in it, which is like a lavender. It's giving lunar lavender from Kaleidos, which, as if you guys have been here for a long time, you guys know I had problems with that palette, but you can't use the purple and the green together, but you could probably use the purple and the mint green together and kind of work something out. And the shifts in the shimmers look so fun and so cool. It's only a 5-pound palette, but I fucking want it anyways. So I just thought it would get the mention. God, it's like I did my makeup and I'm totally fine, and now I'm talking about new releases and I'm fucking starting to break a sweat in this hoodie. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. Simply Posh, a while back, launched the Snow Angel collection. And it was during that time where I was like kind of conflicted about what I wanted to buy, and there wasn't really anything coming out, and like Nomad came out with that palette, and I feel like the color story is good, the Simply Posh one, and it's very winter, and as you guys know, I don't really love the name Simply Posh. It doesn't really fit me, so I've never been drawn to this brand. I really do like this color story, and I probably would have gotten this, except I was in turmoil. I was in makeup turmoil when this came out, and so I just, you know what happened was, I actually went to go buy this, and it was on pre-order, and I was like, you know what, here's the deal. So for me, if something's like easy for me to get, if it's a brand that I'm not already in love with and I'm not already using it, and it better be easy for me to get. Otherwise, that's a total fucking turn off. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to go on a second date with somebody who fucking makes it hard. I don't like hard to get. So I just decided not to get it because it was on pre-order when I went to go buy it. And I would have pulled the trigger on this, and I've never tried Simply Posh. And I know that a lot of people really like them, but I also know that a lot of people, when the first Simply Posh palettes came out, everybody talked about how much they liked them. And then when the second and third palettes came out, everybody talked about how much they are so glad that they changed the formula because the first ones were kind of difficult. And so then I was like, well, that seems like bullshit. That seems like bullshit because like when they first came out, everybody was like talking about how great they were, but then when the second and third or whatever, the Cozy Cabin or whatever came out, then everybody was like, oh, they changed the formula and it's a lot better now. Just not really anything that I have been that interested in, but I was so fucking desperate that I was gonna get this. The color story is great. It's not a desperate fucking color story. I'm not really interested in this brand, and I would have already bought it, except it was on pre-order instead of launch, so I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the Plastic Palette by Blend Bunny, and the reason why is because I'm fucking wearing it, bitch. I went back and forth with this. Now, the first thing I'm gonna say is, yeah, I do feel like the marketing on this, like before they like actually revealed the palette, the teaser marketing was actually pretty weird, and it was kind of disgusting, and yet you couldn't stop watching. Like you were like totally, it was like abhorrent, and you were like aching to know what it was, right? And so then it came out, and I was like, oh my God. I was like so excited that it was a pink palette and that it was gonna be a pink palette. And like you guys know, like I will fucking suck your dick for a pink palette. And then when they opened it, I was like, oh, what? It's a fucking neutral palette. And then they did the fucking, you know, the marketing photos on Instagram, like the photo shoot, right? Where it was actually like the pink syringe, right? There's a syringe, a fat syringe, and it's filled with this beautiful pink, thick liquid. And so I'm gonna tell you right now, if you put anything next to a fucking syringe filled with pink, thick liquid, I'm gonna fucking like it. I'm gonna like the way it looks. Like it's in my fucking DNA, dude. Like I can't fucking help myself. And so I was like, oh, I want that. Even though I saw that it was a neutral palette and I didn't really want it. And so I asked you guys what you wanted, and some of you guys were like, yes, I'm getting it. And some of you guys were like, no, it's fucking ugly and boring. But then over time, as I looked at it and I thought about that peachy pink, that peach color that's in it, and how often I have used a peach and it looks like a perfect pink on my skin. And I just thought, you know what? That's a fucking perfect pink palette. It is a perfect pink palette, and you can create a perfect pink look with it. So I knew I was gonna get it. I actually filmed this video one time before, and I said in the video, this will be in my collection. I just don't know when. It wasn't a priority. Well, then like a couple weeks back, I looked on Instagram, and Blend Bunny was having a 25% off sale on everything in the store, and it was a flash sale for one day. And so the palette was like $25, and I got it because I was broke and I couldn't afford anything else. And also I really did want it, and the price seemed like so good. So I got it, and I filmed with it today, and I'm wearing it right now. So you guys are gonna get to hear what I have to say about that. Wicked Widow Beauty is teased American Psycho. If you guys were on my live stream, we were talking about all the new makeup releases, and there was a person on my live stream, and she boldly said, Wicked Widow is better than Ensley Rain and Bea Bar. Wait, did she say Bea Bar? Yeah. In my opinion, she said, Wicked Widow is better than Ensley Rain and Bea Bar. And she might have said, in my opinion, but like, it was her opinion. But I felt like that was a bold statement in this crowd, right? And so it made me curious. And so I don't like the movie American Psycho. And so all my, like, people on my live were like, dude, it's my favorite movie. One of them even went so far as to say, I'm reading the book right now. And so I was like, what? What am I missing? Like, am I dumb? Because here's the deal. Sometimes I'm just dumb and small-minded. Like, sometimes I don't see, like, the depth of something. And so, like, you know, I'm not very eclectic musically. I only like heavy metal. I'm pretty close-minded about some shit. And so, like, sometimes I'm just, like, podunk and fucking small-minded. So I was like, what am I missing? If you guys say it's your favorite movie of all time and one of you is actually reading the book right now, I'm going to go give it another shot. So I actually posted a picture of me watching the movie on my community tabs, and I didn't like it the second time either. However, that statement that my person made in that live stream saying, I think that Wicked Widow is better than Ensley Rain and Bea Bar, it made me, it's on the radar. And so I can imagine it's probably a red palette with some gray and black and white. And so that will not catch my attention unless it's The Crow. If it's The Crow and it's a red palette with some black and gray and white, then I'm fucking will be all over it. But like a Dexter palette or a American Psycho palette that's in that, you know, kind of frame, that's not gonna draw my attention. But I would like to try Wicked Widow if they came out with the right launch. And I'm not sure this is gonna be it, but I'm not sure that it isn't. You know what I mean? Even the cinematography in that movie was kind of a little dark. And so I can't imagine me liking this palette enough to try a new brand, but just because I don't love American Psycho. Like, if it was the same color story as The Crow, I wouldn't like it. But because I missed The Crow, I love The Crow, so I would have got that. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it had meaning to me, I would like the color story enough to get it. But American Psycho, I tried to like it. I tried to like it twice, and I just couldn't do it. So if it's a great color story, I definitely want to pull the trigger on Wicked Widow, because that's a bold fucking claim, right? And I would be excited to try a brand that was better than Ensley Rain and Bea Bar. I want that shit in my life. I want Wicked Widow in my world if that's the case, right? So, and also it's somebody that I've like watched their looks on Instagram, and I can imagine that she's telling the truth, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I know she's telling the truth. I just don't know if my opinion will be the same as hers, right? But judging by her looks and judging by her other tastes and formulas, I think we share similar tastes. So I can imagine that being true. I have the Morally Grey palette on here by Bea Bar, and as you guys know, I literally creamed my jeans using that. It was so good. You know, I posted that look on Instagram yesterday, and the look was so good, and the pictures were really good, and Bea Bar didn't even like my post. So that feels like, boo, you know. I mean, I'm not like trying to act like all that. I just know that there's a lot of brand owners that do like your posts. You know what I mean? And they're big and they're busy and they still like all your posts. You know what I mean? And you guys know because you guys post shit on Instagram. You know the brand owners that are always liking your shit. So that's kind of, I don't know. I expected them to see it and be like pretty impressed by it because it was so good. No, didn't even notice. So anyways, that doesn't make the palette less good. If I knew then that was going to happen, I still would buy that palette twice. If I lost it today, I would buy it again. And so it's so fucking good. It just seemed a little bit boo. What is this? Oh, ColourPop came out with the Book of Shadows and it sold out before we even knew it existed. So that's nice. So let's talk about that as fast as the Book of Shadows lasted. Adept Cosmetics came out with the Minka palette and I just couldn't afford it. That's all. And also because of what my experience with the Legend of Ardra palette was, I feel like I'm leery and I feel like there's just a lot of brown in this palette. Like the matte color story is spot on. And I don't know, I feel like I'm having a hard time seeing it because of the way they arranged it. Like, they normally arrange it, like, all along the bottom. I mean, in my like to my knowledge, like I don't say, maybe they don't usually do that, but the palettes that I have been like pretty crazed about, they had all the mattes sitting together and they have them separated out. So there is one awesome like shimmer purple and it matches the matte purple, but then there's, it looks like 1, 2, okay, so basically there's 1, 2, 3 brown shimmers, 1, 2 neutral pink shimmers, and then there's like 1, 2 like kind of reddy, 3 purpley. If we go reddy purpley, there's a purple and 2 reddy shadows. I don't know, maybe those are pinky. I do like the palette though. It's just expensive and I was worried that I was gonna get it and be disappointed by the shimmer color story like I was with the Legend of Ardra. So I like it. It's beautiful. I would like to have it in my collection. I'm actually starting to build a collection of Adept palettes. And so, as you guys know, Adept doesn't have my favorite matte formula, but I think it's workable and it's in my second circle. It's not my inner circle. It's my second circle though. So like I buy Adept palettes when I love the color story, right? Or usually the color story and the name. Like the Arrow inspired palette came out, I didn't give a fuck, I was buying it. The fucking Element 115 came out, I didn't give a fuck, I was buying it. The Cyborg Choir came out and I did give a fuck, and then I'm so glad I ended up buying it because it's so fucking good. So yeah, I think the Minka palette remixed, it looks really cool and I'm probably not gonna get it. And if I do, it's probably gonna be because like Tanya texts me and tells me it's on sale or something. So after she hears this, she will do that when she hears it's on sale. The Terra Moon's Winter on Saturn collection, I got it. I was excited about it. I used it and I realized like the video I did for you guys really, I don't feel like it was really representative of the actual regular shimmers that Terra Moon's creates, because I used the colors that looked, they were strange colors, but like they weren't the sparkly colors. And so I want to give that another go for you guys because I feel like the mattes did blend beautifully though. So really that was really what I was like worried about. Terra Moon's fucking shimmers aren't in question. They're fucking killer. And they're also super expensive. And so like, I don't know. I'd rather pay $88 for a palette that has fucking, you know, 16 fucking shifty shimmers in it than $88 on like 4 shimmer shadows and have to pick them myself and not really, I don't know, and not have any mattes with it. So I don't know. I'm not saying that 4 shimmers is $88, but I'm not saying it ain't with shipping. You gotta fucking put that shit on layaway with Afterpay and shit. Layaway, does anybody even know what that is anymore? Remember Kmart? Just kidding. I don't remember Kmart. Fuck, I lived at Kmart. Cheery Up came out with a dual palette collection, and it's 2 cream palettes, and they have like lip glosses and shadows, creamy shadows in them. One of them is green, and it's the Serpent. It's the Snake palette, and then there's the, I don't know why. I looked this up when I did my first video and now I don't remember again. So there's like the Serpent and the Cherry Serpent, or I don't fucking know. The names were so hard to find. Anyway, there's a green one and a pink one, and the pink one is like a snake and cherry blossoms, and the other one is like a snake. And I'm sure that they're both in commemoration of the Year of the Snake, or the Year of the Snake. And I honestly wanted them both really fucking bad. And then I looked and the pink one is so boring. And the green one is like really exciting. There's like this dark lip gloss that has glitter in it. And it's like all these cool greens, and they're actually really beautiful greens, and it's really dark and it's got some blacks and it's like super badass. And then the pink one is literally like a nude. It's like nothing. It's like nothing good. It's like 2 nude lips that you can use as blushes too. And then like all these like nudie patootie colors. So it's like, I don't know. It was kind of disappointing. And when I saw how boring the pink one was, I decided not to get either, because as you guys know, shit's going down with stuff from China. For one, it's getting, I think it's kind of starting to like sort itself out, but like we're all up in the air about what's going to happen about our Chinese imports. And it's already hard to get Chinese indie makeup. It's like kind of hard, you know what I mean? And so I just decided it wasn't, they were like $80 for each collection, which I obviously wanted the whole collection of both. And I don't know. So it just seemed like not really worth the price or the trouble to get them if the pink one was going to be boring and the green one was going to be exciting. So I know a couple of you are getting this or have already gotten it, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think about it because I know you guys are going to love them and I know you guys are going to tell me how awesome they are. So I'm sure that the green one is awesome, but I haven't heard nobody fucking scream into the stars about the pink one. Nobody even fucking has mentioned it. It's barely even gotten a mention on Instagram. You can hardly even find it. And so, boo, The Monk by Fantasy Cosmetica. I actually like this. I actually think it's really cool. I actually like the color story. And for a monochromatic palette, I dig yellow monochromatic palettes, dude. If there's like a mustard in it, there's an orange, there's a flamey orange, and then there's like a cool tone brown, which I bet you it looks good. It's something different. At least it's not a warm tone brown. So anyways, the shimmers all look really cool, and I really like this palette, but I didn't get it. I probably wouldn't have even mentioned it on my Hump It or Dump It, except it's actually shocking how much I like a yellow palette. You know, when you fucking throw a brown in a yellow palette, isn't it really just a brown palette? I like it that they came out with a yellow palette at this time of year, though, too. Fucking rebels. Ooh. Unearthly Cosmetics, they launched their sorcery. What are those? The metals. I thought that I was going to be getting them, so I ordered them, but they still haven't even shipped. So I don't know if they were on a pre-order or what, but it was a while ago that I ordered them. Anyways, now they're coming out with 8 new, what the fuck are they called? Menacing metals. And they're like my kind of colors, right? They're like purples and pinks and fucking shifty. There's an orange and a magenta and a dark one and a goldy, like dirty one. I really want all of these. I think my lipstick collection is so fucking boring right now. I'm like so bored of it. I have several, but I'm just like, they're just boring to me. So I'm excited to get those Menacing Metal lipsticks, and I'm also excited for these to launch. And when did she say these were coming? Oh, Unearthly has a Valentine's Day launch coming too. I think they're teasing it right now. She told us that it was going to be late. I can't wait. It looks really pretty. The teaser that she's showing right now, I'll talk about it in a little bit. But anyways, I want all of these colors. I want all 8 of them, and I don't know when they're launching. There's a brand called Holograve Cosmetics, and all their shit is handmade, and they have this big palette called the Fairy Ring. And quite frankly, it's a pastel palette with no dimension, and it's shaped in a way that's really not efficient and kind of frivolous and stupid. And I fucking really want it. I think it looks super cool. And also I think it would be really cool to do flat lays and displays for like build your owns. So I'm really interested, and honestly, I've been watching a lot of their content lately, and they have a lot of really cool handmade things that really remind me of the same kind of style as Notoriously Morbid. So I've been watching Holograve Cosmetics, and you're probably going to see something from them on here at some point. It might not be the Fairy Ring palette, but Cosmic Brushes launched the Lovers palette, and I was really excited about it, and then I just didn't get it. And it's probably sold out at this point, no doubt, because all they ever do is sell out. Let's talk about a launch that nobody can get. Wait, it's not sold out. Oh, it's $34, and there's like a pinky side and a blue-greeny side. I like it okay. It's pretty. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have like a mental block against Cosmic Brushes, because I like their palettes. I just don't like them enough to spend my own money on it. You know what I mean? And I never do. And also I always know that the shimmers, there's only going to be like 2 shifters in it. And so I'm not really gonna, I don't know. You could probably, honestly, the pink side looks very similar to the Plastics palette. It's probably really good. I just didn't get it. If I did, honestly, let me see something here. Is the Sinister palette still available? I really like the Sinister palette. I would really like to get, I would probably get the Sinister palette and the Lovers palette at the same time. And they're both available right now. So that feels, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe. I like it well enough. It just didn't like, I don't know what I expected. Maybe if the fucking colors were mixed up a little bit more, or like, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. It's cool. It's a cool palette. I'm not like saying it isn't cool. It's very cool. I like it. I like it okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Jolie Beauty teased the Tainted palette, and it was like spicy. Like these two fucking like goth fuckers were like mashing out hard. Mashing out, does anybody know what that means? It means like making out like hardcore. Like he was like putting his hand down her front, like it was looking like he was going to fucking third base. Like it was spicy. Like everybody had to go fucking have a courtesy wipe after they were done watching the fucking teaser for the Tainted palette. And so I was like on waiting, and I guess I should have saved this for like laster, because of everything that is on this entire list, the Tainted palette is the only thing that I'm gonna get off this video and order it. And I'm probably gonna get some of the lip stains too. But anyways, the teaser was spicy and the palette is fucking gorgina. Yeah, and it looks pretty shifty and pretty pigmented. Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting the Tainted palette. That's the one. So of everything, of all the Valentine's Day launches, it was the Morally Grey and the Tainted that kind of took it for me, which was similarly to, you know, when all the palettes came out and they were all green and purple palettes for Halloween. When it came down to it, it was the Jolie Beauty that fucking stole it for me, right? Like, I was like confused, I was overwhelmed, and in the end, I decided on the Jolie Beauty Spellbound palette because like, it was just the one that looked the most interesting to me. The same was true for what happened at Valentine's Day. I was super excited about it, and then every fucking palette that came out was basically the exact same color story, and in the end, it's really Tainted that stole it for me. So I'm getting the Tainted palette today. I'm gonna order it. I know, I do that. I say I'm gonna do that, and then sometimes I wait a couple days, but you guys will be seeing that on my channel. So, and Jessica launched a new brush set for Singe Beauty, and I love my Singe brushes, but this just didn't look like it's gonna hit the mark for me, so I'm definitely not getting them. I'm sure they're really good, and honestly, if you only have her set of brushes, this looks like it like fills in all the gaps of what her brushes don't do, but they don't look like, none of them are shaped in a way that would really do it for me, and a couple of them look like they're the exact same shape as those two brushes that I don't ever use and don't really fucking like. So I did use one for my halo eye recently. They're like this style, right? There's a bigger one of this style and a second bigger one that's kind of, well, it's got a little bit longer. It's like more of a brush that looks like this. It's like this kind. So I'm sure that they're really good. I just, I don't find them interesting at all. Like when the first Singe Beauty brush collection came out, I was freaking out. I knew it was going to be so good, and I couldn't ever afford them. I ended up, in the end, my friend Tanya got them for me because I couldn't ever afford them. I was like in a kind of a bad spot for a while. And so I ended up getting them because Tanya bought them for me, but I wanted them from the second I saw them. And these ones just don't really look that like they're for me. Gourmand Girls came out with the Bitten palette, and I have never tried Gourmand Girls. In fact, my friend Shanita recently was like, dude, Gourmand Girls is bomb. And so I kind of want to pull the trigger on this to see if they're really that bomb. I was totally turned off when the reveal happened because it looks like that gray in the center is a fucking green. And so I was like, dude, what the fuck why is everybody always putting a green in a fucking one lonely green in a purple and red palette? Like, no. And so the palette does look interesting to me, but I don't know. I might get it. When I saw that it was Bitten, I was like, ooh. Also, the swatches that I keep seeing of it don't look that good. Like, I can't see anything that's really, like, interesting to me. I'm sure more swatches have come out since I saved this particular post, but I don't know. It's an I don't know. I really want to try it because I was told that the matte formula is superb. So if the matte formula is superb, then fucking I will try it. Notoriously Morbid came out with the Toxic Love palette. You guys saw, I loved it. It was so great. So great. Okay, now we're getting into it. So Gourmand Girls is coming out with the Call of the Sirens. And so that will probably be I'll probably pull the trigger on that. Like, I haven't seen the reveal. Unless I'm hugely disappointed by the reveal. Let me see if they've done it yet. No, it's probably not going to be coming till March. So anyways, I'll probably, and if they still have Bitten palettes, let me see something. Do they still have Bitten palettes? I wonder how much the shipping is. Let's fucking see. It's $54.99 for the palette for Bitten. I want to see how much the shipping is, and I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. Shipping's only $7.50. I feel like that's reasonable, and I'm sure somebody has a discount code for them. So it's $64.64 for the Bitten palette. I might get it. I might get that. I mean, it's cute, and that gray, that middle shade is not a green, it's a gray. And so it took me a minute to figure that out. And so once I saw different pictures and saw that there wasn't like a hint of green in that color, it made me want it more. So I feel like this is the palette to do it, right? And so maybe I'd order it ahead of time so that I'll know, but I am probably most definitely, unless I'm supremely fucking disappointed in the fucking color story, I'm definitely getting the Call of the Sirens. Because the Bitten palette, I was like, I'm getting it. No matter what it looks like, I'm getting it. And then when I opened it, I was kind of like, meh. Well, the reason why I was kind of like, meh, is because every single fucking launch that's coming out is basically that same color story. And so it's like, I go to fucking look at what I'm gonna get, and they all look the same, and then I get overwhelmed, just like at Halloween. And so I'm gonna kind of talk about something here in a second, but it's like, dude, when everybody launches every single holiday and everything looks the same or even different, it's like, dude, every single holiday you're like totally fucking, it's like this torrential fucking downpour bombardment with launches, and it's like, it just gets overwhelming. And then I'm just like, dude, for one, I'm not made of money. I can afford to sustain my channel, and I can afford to like buy some things that I just want sometimes, but like, I'm not fucking made of money, and I can't buy 15 launches every time something comes out. And so you guys know exactly what I mean, and I feel like that's one of the things that makes me relatable is I don't have $1 million fucking dollars, you know, to buy every single launch. So yeah, so this I probably will get it just because my friend Shanita told me that the fucking formula is bomb. And also because the Call of Sirens is coming out. And I don't know, maybe I'll wait, maybe I won't. If this sold out and I missed out on it, if the Bitten palette sold out and I missed out on it, I wouldn't be bummed. Now, I'm gonna talk about a couple other things before I go into this. So the Smitten launch by Nomad Cosmetics. When I did this video the first time, I actually was like, this looks boring. I don't fucking want to get it. And then I kind of rethought it because it doesn't look boring. Well, it does look a little boring, but here's the deal, is it has a fucking set of, the color story looks good. Like, it's something I could totally do business with. The color story looks good. It just looks a little bit the same. It's a cat theme, which I could get on board with a fucking Smitten kitten cat theme. I could be okay with that. And the color story is cute. It just looked a little, it's not quite enough for me in the vein of like, it's like 2 purples, 3 pinks, and a gray. It's fine, it's good. It just didn't like totally blow my fucking mind, right? And the shimmers in it look, I don't see any shimmer in the palette that I'm completely fucking dazzled by. In fact, I'm not even sure I really like the shimmers that are in the palette. However, the shimmers that are sold in the singles are really fucking good. I wish that those would have just been in the palette and the palette would have been more expensive, because this motherfucker would have sold like fucking hotcakes for one, and for two, you know what I mean? Like, I would have plugged it for fucking real. I like it when brands sell palettes that the shimmers in the palette are good enough to get the palette. Like, I feel like I don't really want the palette without the singles. Well, one of the good singles sold out with the quickness. So you can still get the bundle with the wet liners and the like shimmer glue and primers, colored primers and stuff, and jewels. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in the collection, and you can get all 4 singles, but it's $135 and it's $150 with the wet liners, which I only like one of the wet liners. So the 2 shimmers that I really wanted, so I got online because they had a restock of the shimmers, the Stray Cat or whatever. There's Alley Cat and Stray Cat, and I can't remember which one is the one that, Stray Cat is the one that sold out with the quickness. Well, she found 2 and she put them up for sale, and I went to go get Stray Cat and Alley Cat and just buy them on their own, and the shipping for those 2 singles was $9 fucking dollars. And I was like, no, I'm not buying 2 singles and paying $9. You know what I mean? They were $14 a piece plus 9. And so I just decided I wasn't going to do that, and I wanted to just wait until I could afford the whole bundle, which I would get the bundle, but it seems like the palette is only appealing to me with the rest of the bundle. So that feels, I don't know. The other thing is I really like the owner. Like, I don't know her personally, but I really like her anyway. I just think she's super cool. And so I would like to use some of her products just to see if they like blow my mind. Because, you know, if the fucking matte formula is fucking bomb, I don't really give a fuck what the color story is. I will fucking, if I love the formula, I will eventually love every single color story. The palette, as far as like being a first time attraction, the palette's not big enough to be like something that like blows my mind right away, right? Because I like bigger palettes. And also the shimmers in the palette, it would be a perfect palette if the shimmers that are in the singles were in the palette and the palette was just more expensive. So I would have got it with the quickness if those shimmers were in the palette. But since they weren't, and I had to fuck around and try to buy singles and like, because I didn't have any money at the time and now I have to get the whole collection, and it's like, it just seemed like so much of a hassle that like, it's playing hard to get. And so if you're playing hard to get, like, I don't have that much fucking energy. I would if I was already in love with the formula, but to try something for the first time, this just didn't fucking draw me in like some things do. Beauty Bay launched the Daydreamer palette, and it's, I mean, I'm on the fence about it, as I often am with Beauty Bay these days. There's one deepening shade, and the color story is super cute. Again, the shimmers, like, I feel like my standard of shimmers has, like, it's, like, through the roof now, you know what I mean? Like, I'll never be happy with a shimmer like this. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I just would never be happy with, like, a regular shimmer again. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, that seems like to be a deterrent for me at this point. If like, if it looks like it has mostly regular shimmers, that's like a deterrent for me. Like I've been too spoiled, you know what I mean? What else? Okay, I'm gonna finish hard. Okay, so Odin's Eye came out with the Love Language collection, and quite frankly, I looked at it and I thought, ooh, that's cute. But you wanna know what? I know for a fact that people that I trust have fucking said for the last 2 launches that they've had that the formula has changed. It's not even as good as it used to be. If it's not as good as it used to be, there's no fucking way it's any good at all, because I've never thought they had a great matte formula. And so once again, Odin's Eye has launched something that I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. And then I remember it's not. So I won't be getting that. I know that there's people on here that like Odin's Eye. I'm sorry when I say that stuff if that like offends you. I don't mean to be like that. They never work for me. The color story is really cohesive. It looks like it actually would work, and you could actually create a look. I don't know. I'm just always disappointed by Odin's Eye. And also I feel like their shimmer formula doesn't stay good like everything else does. What's this? Blend Bunny is launching a fucking mermaid palette, and they just teased the fucking teaser, and it's very similar to the teaser for the Divina mermaid collection and the teaser for the Jolie Beauty Sirens collection. So the Mystic Cove and the fucking Sea of Shadows had fucking cool badass dark mermaid teasers. And you guys know the Lure palette is actually one of the best Blend Bunny palettes that has ever been made. Oopsie, excuse me. I gotta go get my kid. So anyways, I'm really excited to see how that fucking comes out. And then finally, tomorrow, Made by Mitchell is doing a live stream on TikTok, and he just launched 2 lipstick cases. I don't know what they're called. There's the Cupid case and another one, and you bet your ass I'm gonna be on that live. And you bet your ass I've gone fucking case crazy, dude. I am fucking a lunatic over fucking Made by Mitchell cases, dude. They are fucking good. Every one of them. The brow case, the blush case, the Cosmic cases, every fucking thing. Every little thing he does is magic. So I'm really grateful that I've gotten an opportunity to fucking get back excited about Made by Mitchell, because when Made by Mitchell first came out, I was so fucking excited, and then it just kind of went away for me because his products weren't that accessible for me like they were for people in the UK. And now that they're accessible again, I would suggest get your ass over to TikTok and get some of these cases while they're still on sale, and while we can still fucking get shit like that on TikTok, because TikTok isn't guaranteed. Anyways, that's all there is. I actually am going to be late to go get my kid, and it's like 8 below 0. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this video, or if you just like my sparkling personality and my boyish charm, and hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. Let me know, what do you guys think about the things I said? Are you interested in these? What did you get? What didn't you get? What did you think was boring? Tell me everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later. Slayer.